out there this wonderful experience about why we do our yoga breathing. So basically, your brain can only handle so much stress, right? You can only handle to think about so many things at once when your brain is going to start to discharge it into your body. Depending on what your conditions are, some people get issues with their jaw, tension headaches, neck pain, all sorts of different body pains, depending on where you discharge that stress energy in the body. One of the very common aspects of this stress response is people have a tendency to tighten their stomach, right? Tighten their jaw, and tighten the front of their hips. And this is something that we talked about a lot today on my ride with my friend, because you gotta have open hips to be able to be a rider. You gotta have open hips to be able to do a lot of things. But I was bringing to her attention that it's a stress response. It's a fight or flight reaction that we get. We throw this energy into our body. What we learn to do with yoga breathing is how to move this energy out of our body, how to discharge it out of our body. So there's a whole bunch of different types of yogic breathing. The first thing I want to bring to your attention is something called this root lock, right? This mula bandha. So this is the first lock we bring into our yoga practice. We try to draw in and up through the navel. Actually, it's 3 inches below the navel. It's more like using these P muscles. So you're engaging these muscles at the pelvic floor, drawing in and up. The feeling is like trying to move the pubic bone backwards and the tailbone forward at the same time. So this energy of moving tailbone one way, pubic bone the other way, drawing in and up. So there's this lifting up through this lower belly, and we call it a root lock, a mula bandha. Why I'm bringing this into our attention today with the stress response is as we start to engage this area and get a little more control over these energetic locks in the body, we'll start to work with our stress response a whole lot better. And we'll begin to train ourselves to get the stress response out of our body before it leads to dis-ease. Think about that word. You're not at ease. You start to get dis-ease. Health is pretty simple. Anyway, so we're talking about root lock. Root lock is basically engaging the P muscles, pulling in and up. The next lock is abdominal lock, called the navel lock. So basically you have an abdominal muscle running across the lower belly called the transverse abdominis. What you're practicing here is pulling this navel in and up. It's almost gonna feel like you're pulling your ribs into you're pulling your navel up into the rib cage. So these two areas are locked. We have the root lock, we have the navel lock, and now the breathing is up here. Expanding and extending. This opening heart. So what you start to imagine happening here is your heart breath is lifting you up, right? And you're letting this stress response melt down out of the shoulders. So let's start to take a few deep breaths here, holding this navel in. Root lock, right? Navel lock, throat breath. And of course, I gotta bring it to your attention that there's a slight chin lock. So this chin lock is called Jalandhara bandha. So basically, here's how you find it. Bring your index finger right to the center of the throat here, and you pull in. And if you really get it, it makes that slight snoring sound, right? This vacuuming in here. So go ahead and press your finger here, draw the navel in. Pull in the throat. So this is the first step of yogic breathing. Basically what you're doing is bypassing the sniffers. I'm not like trying to sniff the air in. I'm actually not using these muscles, I'm using these muscles here. And it all goes together. Those of you just joining us, root lock, pulling in the P muscles. Abdominal lock, drawing in the belly button to the spine, but it also is a lift around here and around the sides. Then we have this chin lock, our throat connection. You're drawing in, almost like an ear-to-ear smile. If you can visualize this drawing in and up here, a little lengthening through the back of the neck, rising through the top of the spine. As you bring this whole experience into one, you'll start to feel a little more in your body, a little more centered. And those of you just joining in, we're working with the stress response by controlling how we breathe. First, right? Learning how not to use the nostrils to pull the air in, but to draw the breath in through this vacuum. Makes a slight snoring sound. That snoring sound can actually alleviate snoring at night, which is pretty amazing. As people can train themselves to breathe properly here, use these muscles for the breath here, they're gonna sleep better at night, which I could have a whole nother video all about sleep apnea and how it causes a lot of dis-ease. And that goes into this idea of having low levels of oxygen. What we're doing with yoga is we're raising our oxygen levels. As we increase our oxygen levels, right, our stress levels are gonna go down. gonna sleep better, we're gonna feel better, it's all gonna work better. So, going back to the connection here, root lock, drawing in. That's it, lengthening and tucking tailbone slightly. Navel lock, extending up the rib cage. Good, hard breath, expanding here and relaxing here. Chin lock, slightly chin lock by drawing the navel in. Ear to ear smile and a lift up through the back of the neck. So you start to get this breathing going. And of course, those of you at home, you just try to do 7 long deep breaths like that, hearing the sound like a snoring sound, right? That's the first technique. It's called an Ujjayi breath with the locks engaged, right? The second technique is Kapalabhati. It goes like this. I joke about it. I tell people it's like sneezing. You're kind of going, don't do it on somebody else. Maybe you're at home, you can do it at home. We do this yoga breathing a lot at Yoga Oasis. We've been pretty good here for the 18 years we've been here. Never had any problems with our breathing on each other. Anyway, so this Kapalabhati breath goes like this. You're literally taking this root lock that we worked on earlier, you're squeezing and releasing, squeezing and releasing. So it's squeeze, release, squeeze, release. You can think of it as a Kegel, right? You can think of it as a wonderful way to control your bladder and the muscles of peeing, which are pretty important for your future happiness. So here we go. Nice and slow. So you squeeze all the air out. Relax. 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 You can even use your hands. It'll help you maybe get a little of the connection going. And again, I'm going to try to get, let's go for 100 in a row. Start to feel some heat happening in there. Maybe you feel lower back pain. It's a great way to strengthen and tone your core. Strive to get 100 of those a day, right? So those are 2 great breathing techniques. We'll start to bring some more and more to your attention as we go through the practice. I have one more technique I want to share with you guys because I think some of you might have trouble sleeping at night, especially if you watch the news before bed. I would highly recommend not doing that. So this technique is called Ananovalom. You take your right thumb to the right nostril. You inhale through the left nostril. It's going to cross over and out, and then you inhale and exhale. So you follow this kind of loop-de-loop from inhale and exhale, always using your right hand and starting with the left side. So inhale left. Switch nostrils, exhale right, inhale right, exhale left, inhale, exhale, go slow, what it's doing is it's harmonized the hemispheres of the brain. Right? You have brainwave patterns, beta, alpha, delta, and theta. When you're under stress, right, you're triggering that fight or flight response. Body tenses up, you can't sleep at night, you can't eat, have stomach problems. Inhale. Work on controlling your stress response by controlling how you breathe, how you think, and how you move. Practice this for up to 2 minutes a day. Try it when you're laying in bed using the right hand. You can lay flat on your back. Remember the cycle in and out. Cycle in and cycle out. If you want more, of course, you can join me, yoga-oasis.com. I have my schedule online. Got a class starting in a few minutes, so see you soon. Namaste. Are we done?